Greetings, family, friends, and survivors. Well, we thought it was an easy thing to just throw up 3 panels and wire them into the new charge controller. And I have these Renogy Z clips that Chris, do-it-yourselfer, sent me. Great guy. You gotta check out his channel for sure. So he had a bunch of them because he bolted his panels to Unistrut. So he didn't need these, and he shipped them to me UPS a while back. So you could see I just put a couple of stringers on here to add these panels to, and I've got a strong back on this to keep this from flexing down, and it does pretty good. Pretty happy with it. It's just temporary, but it gets another 705 watts going. And I've got them going into this entrance here with a drip loop. And it's all in conduit in there now. At least everything I'm installing now is. So I have these 3 in series for about 108 volts on the high side, which is good. 4 of them is too high on a cold day for the Flex Max. So I'm going to have 2 sets of 3. But we got them up, and it took about a day to do it and wire it in and everything. You can see there's not a real easy place to see. Those are all temporary. Those need to move. All of those need to move out here. So I have 6 of the big ones, 4 of the 100 watts, and 12 of the 165 watts to put along this fence. Oh my. I wonder if we'd be just fine with what we've got. It'd be a whole lot less work, wouldn't it? It's a big garden. So I could have solar panels, as long as I don't shade the honeysuckle in the corner, all the way to the gate. And the bottoms of the panels would be okay in this area, actually as low as the other ones are. But when you walk in front of them and stuff, it causes shading. And if you're working, the biggest thing is if they use the weed eater out here and threw a rock at one, that would not be happy. So I want to get them up off the ground, which is going to take a sizable superstructure or pole mounts. And I'm thinking pole mounts and just weld up our own caps for 6x6s and using Unistrut. Gosh, doesn't that sound easy? Well, I'm going to have one of my boys do the welding, though, because my neck won't take cutting, grinding, and welding. 20 minutes, I'm done for a week. No kidding. My neck will not do it. And you forget, you shake your head to drop your mask down, and that shake, oh, no way. So, I'm not sure how. But we've got 705 more watts hooked into the system, and it's working today, so that's good. And if it takes me 6 months to get it done, that's all right too. So I did get to the doc, the pain management specialist, and brought him an MRI that we got last week. And yeah, I broke my back twice somewhere along the way. 2 wedge compression fractures. And yeah, that's why I'm pinched up all the time. But I used to do the injections, and gosh, they use a needle really long. Sometimes they'll go through your organs if they need to. And they put you under this continuous x-ray machine. And they get a 10-inch long needle sometimes, and they stick it right down next to the facet joints that are all inflamed. And it's squeezes stuff in there, and you hurt like hell for a few weeks. And then I was several years, didn't even take an aspirin. Well, he quit doing these injections years ago until we figured out from a neurologist what the myoclonus and the startle myoclonus was coming from and the tremor. And that took years to work through those hoops. Well, we finally got up to HSU and they said it's happening in your brain, but it's not MS. We don't think you're going to die. So that sent me home, and now the pain management specialist, he's ready to do the injections again. Only one problem. Well, two actually. It's been so many years ago now, he's going to have to talk to a software engineer to be able to read the old files, because they're more than 8 years old. In fact, they're 11 years old, because he wants to know exactly where he was doing injections before, plus what the MRI is going to tell him. And then the big problem number 2, you got to hold still. And if you flinch at all, and it's painful when they take a needle that long and stick it down all the way into your spine, a millimeter or less away from your spinal cord, and you have a myoclonus fit, like I have constantly all day, yeah, you nick that spinal cord and they leak. Now you're a mad rush to the hospital, and nothing gives you a worse headache than a leaking epidural. And I don't want an epidural on accident. So he says, we got to figure out how to do this without you moving. And I said, can you knock me out? He goes, well, yeah, but that's a whole nother set of hoops with the insurance to prove that they need to knock me out in order to do this. And it's going to take 24 injections, and they'll only do 4 at a time every 6 weeks. Oh, but this is the only thing I've got that will get me my life back, where I can at least sleep at night. Yeah. So I don't know if I'll be able to get back to work or not, but if I could just get away from this pain, I know my wife would be a lot happier. It's not that, the worst thing about pain? The worst thing about pain is it forces us to think about ourselves, and I hate thinking about myself. I want to be completely divested of self and fully vested in Christ, and I don't want me in the mix at all. And when you think about yourself all the time, you're miserable. When you think about other people and helping other people, that's where the joy comes from. Put it this way, got a room full of 100 people. Search around, take notes, find the most miserable person you can find, and you'll listen to them and realize all they're thinking about is self. Then go find the happiest person in the room, and he's the one serving everybody else, offering ladies his chair, getting people a drink of water, and he's just joyously, or she's joyously bouncing around the room, happier than anybody because they're serving others. And that's how we're supposed to be. And when you're in pain, it forces you to think about self because you hurt really bad. And so the exercise of faith is to disconnect from that pain and be focused on the needs of the people around you. And that's the time I feel the very, very best. I don't even notice the pain. When I'm helping other people, wow, what a joy. So, I'm preaching to myself. And you get to listen. All right, folks. Have a that one's free, by the way. Have a very blessed day.